We speak to thousands of business owners every year. Almost every entrepreneur we speak to tells us they know they need to get their processes written and implemented, but they've been unable to do so. Why is it so hard? Well, there are two key reasons. The first is the lack of a process development plan, and the second is the lack of a process development tool. This presentation is going to focus on the process development plan, specifically the 5 steps you need to take to organize and implement all of the processes in your business. Now, while I go through the 5-step systemization plan, I'm going to be showcasing a software application called the Touchstone Business System. This is the other part of the equation, the process development tool. This presentation is not meant to be a demo of the Touchstone application. I'm using the application in the presentation because it is simply the best tool available for organizing and managing your procedures. It's a software application that has been specifically designed for consistent process documentation and implementation. If you're interested in a demo of the software, click the link in the description box below and find a time for your personal one-on-one presentation. The 5-step systems development plan has been developed after having worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs, helping them to organize and implement the processes in their businesses. We use the plan to discover, prioritize, document, implement, and manage all of the processes in a business. I'll start by quickly walking you through the 5 steps, and then I'll come back and look at each step in detail. The first step isn't about systemization at all. It's about understanding your destination. What is your business going to look like, say, 3 to 5 years from now? After all, if you don't know where you're going, how are you ever going to get there? Step number 2 is to create a graphic picture of what that destination will look like, and this is what will become your organizational chart. Step number 3, identify or name the procedures that you think are necessary in that future organization. How will you generate sales? How will you deliver on the promises you made in the sales process? What back office procedures are going to be going on behind the scenes, like hiring, firing, payroll, invoicing, collections, backing up the computers, all of the administrative and financial activities? How will you guide and manage the business from where you are today to where you want to get to? In this step, you are not describing how the process is done. That will come later. In this step, you are simply naming what needs to be done. Once you've named the procedures, you'll connect them to the boxes on your organizational chart. Think about this. You've identified everything that needs to be done in the business. You've identified all of the positions that you'll need in the business, and you've connected everything that needs to be done to all of the positions. You've created complete functional accountability. Everything that needs to be done is being done by someone in the business. And finally, in step number 5, you will prioritize the procedures. Which ones are the most important ones to get written as soon as possible, and who's going to help you write them? The first step, then, is to define your destination. What is your business going to look like 3 to 5 years from now? This is such a critical step. Studies show that if you do this, and you take action and track and communicate the process you make on the vision, you have a 300% better chance of achieving your goal than if you do not take this step. The question to ask yourself is, do you have a documented vision? Do you know exactly where you want to be 5 years from now? My guess is that you don't, or if you do, it's in your head. And why do so few business owners actually go through this step and write it down? In many cases, it's because they just don't know how. I'm only going to touch on this process today. We have an entire webinar that focuses on developing your vision, which includes your purpose, your values, and your mission. But I will show you very quickly a process that will take you through the steps to understanding and documenting this vision. I'm going to toggle over to the Touchstone application. This is the application that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that is used for process management. Again, this is not a demo of Touchstone. I'm simply using it to show you what is available to you. I will also say that if you're interested in any of the tools that I'm about to show you, you can email us and we will send you Word documents or PDF files of all of these processes. In Touchstone, I'm going to click on the 4 Key Functions tab. I'm going to click on Guiding the Business. I'm going to come up to this option here, Add from Process Library, and I'm going to click on General Processes. This is a list of processes that we've got for guiding and managing a business. I'm going to scroll down to the S's and select Strategic Planning and click Save. This will copy the strategic planning process into a Touchstone account. Once the process is in my Touchstone account, and you'll see it right here, I'm going to select it. You'll notice that there are 6 work plans, 1 uploaded file, and some forms. The work plans are designed to take me step by step through the process of understanding my vision. I'm going to click on the first work plan called Watch the Video First. This provides us an overall plan for how to progress through and create a strategic vision. In the first step, I'm going to click this link to watch the video. This is an excellent video focused on how to create and implement a strategic plan, and we recommend that you watch this video first and then follow through with the next 5 steps. In the next step, you're going to create your vision. You'll notice in this work plan that we provide the context for a vision, and we define the 3 elements: purpose, values, and mission. You will click into each of these sections, answer the questions, and replace the sample purpose, values, and mission with your purpose, values, and mission. If you're not very clear on what you want your business to look like in the next 3 to 5 years, we suggest clicking on this form, the Strategic Target Questions. This is a set of questions that will help you clarify your thinking and provide the data for creating and documenting a very clear and purposeful vision. Notice that you're actually embedding your content directly into the assignment. Clicking on the next work plan, we're going to give you the step-by-step instructions to create a plan that will help you take action on your vision, a plan to help you stay on course towards achieving your end game. Next, we're going to give you a meeting rhythm. How many strategic meetings should you actually have over the course of a year? How often? And what will be the required deliverables for each of these meetings? We recommend an annual planning meeting, and this could be 1 or 2 full days. The purpose of this meeting would be to create the 3 to 5 priorities that you wish to achieve in the coming year, as well as the 3 to 5 priorities that you wish to achieve in the first quarter of the coming year. So you're looking at your end game, and if this is where you want to be 5 years from now, where do you need to be at the end of this coming year to be able to be on track towards getting to where you want to be in 5 years? And then dialing it back to where do you need to be in the next quarter to be able to do what you need to do in the coming year. We recommend that you have quarterly planning meetings, and in these meetings you'll review the status of the actions achieved in the past quarter as well as determine the 3 to 5 priorities for the coming quarter. We recommend that you have half-day monthly planning meetings. The goal of these meetings is to focus on the progress that you're making on your quarterly priorities. And finally, we recommend that you have weekly planning meetings as well as daily huddles if this makes sense for your business. Each of these sections of the work plan can be modified and personalized for your own business. For example, if you think that you only need 1 full day for an annual planning meeting, you'll come up here and edit this step to 1 full day. You can decide that you would like different deliverables. You can input dates, times, and locations for your meetings. You might say, for example, that the annual planning meeting will always be on the 2nd Friday of December, and it will be held off-site in a conference room at a local hotel. We give you sample meeting agendas. This might be the agenda to use for your annual and quarterly meetings. This might be the agenda you could use for your monthly and weekly meetings. And of course, you can edit these formats to personalize them for you, your managers, and your business. We give you a sample work plan for how to track and adjust the actions that you're taking on your monthly, quarterly, and annual priorities. And you can select this form, Annual Priorities, to document the goals that have been assigned to specific managers in your organization. They can then update this form as a way of keeping you informed of the action that they've been taking in the completion of their priorities. This is an example of just one of the processes from the Touchstone process libraries. If you've not yet created your strategic vision and you'd be interested in receiving this process, send us an email and we'll provide you with the Microsoft Word documentation and the PDF files to assist you with the development of your vision. Or we can set you up with a free trial of the Touchstone application. You can follow through doing it in the exact same fashion that I've been illustrating here. Once you have your destination defined, your vision, you want to create the graphic picture of what that business is going to look like organizationally. How many salespeople will you need? How many client fulfillment people will you need? How many back office support people will you need? How many managers will you need? In step number 2, you're going to create the org chart of that future business. So a good question to ask yourself, do you have an org chart currently? And if you do have an org chart, is it up to date? And how do you use it? Most org charts are done following an assignment that was given to you by a consultant, but it is rare that the organizational structure, the org chart, is actually used as a strategic growth tool for the business. Usually it's just created and filed away. Your org chart should be able to help you define all of the positions in your organization. It will help you determine who you need to hire next, who they will report to, how much you need to pay them, how quickly you need a return on your investment, what is expected of them, and what they need to do to achieve those expectations. It will show you who does what in your organization so you can be sure that everything that needs to be done is being done by someone in the organization. I'm going to toggle back over to Touchstone and click on the Organizational Chart tab. We will provide you with a generic organizational structure, and using your strategic vision, you will edit this chart to illustrate what your future business will look like. You can add new positions, you can delete existing positions, you can edit the names of any of the positions simply by clicking on them, highlighting the text you wish to change, entering new text, and clicking Save. You can move any of the positions around. Everything in Touchstone is drag and drop. Creating the organizational structure of your future vision turns your org chart into a strategic growth tool. You will actually use your organizational chart for the planning and the growth of your business. Step number 3 is all about naming the processes that you think will be necessary for achieving your vision. In this step, I want you to think about your business in a new way. I want you to rise above the landscape and think of the business as having 4 key functions. Getting the business, these are all of the sales and marketing processes. Doing the business, all of the processes for delivering on the promise made during the sales process. So this would be processes for client fulfillment, production, customer service, all of the processes that directly relate to what you do for your clients. Running the business, these are the processes that go on behind the scenes, such as invoicing, paying your bills, collections, hiring, firing, budgeting, cash flow, all of the financial, administrative, human resource type processes and IT type processes. And finally, guiding the business. These are the strategic and management processes for leading your business or guiding the business from where you are today to where you want to get to. In the simplest of terms, there are only 4 core activities that can happen in a business. You've got to get the sales, you've got to deliver on the promise, you've got to collect and pay for the goods and services performed, and you've got to guide and manage things. So this is your process database. This is where you will store all of your systems, all categorized in 4 simple key functions. As an example, I was working with a client recently and I asked him what they did to get new business. Well, his response was, oh, well, we just analyzed our database to get a list of clients who had not made a purchase in the last 12 months but had previously spent more than $2,000 with us. And then we exported this list into a file, we created an email, and we merged the list into the email. And this is where I stopped our client. And I said, wait, my question was, what do you do to get new business? Not how you do it. How you do it will come later, but at this point, I only need to know what you do. So if what you are describing to me were a process, what would that process name be? He thought about it for a moment and then he said, retargeting past clients. So we clicked on the Getting the Business key function, then clicked on Add a New Process, and entered retargeting past clients and saved the new process. And then I asked, what else do you do? And he started rattling off all sorts of processes. Well, we do Facebook, we do LinkedIn, we do Pinterest, we do trade shows, we do email marketing, we do blogging. And as he was naming them, we were writing them down and organizing them in the Touchstone system. And step by step, we went through each of his 4 key functions until we had identified every system he could think of. At this point, you'll probably have thought of about 65 to 75% of your processes, which is a great start. Once you've gone through this step, thinking about what it is that you do in your own business, we recommend that you then access our process libraries for more ideas or as a catalyst to help you think of other things that you do. And we really do encourage you to think of what is unique to your business and the way that you do things. And once you've done that, we have this template of process names for each of the 4 key functions. So think about your business first, and then once you've exhausted your ideas of what it is that you do, Then go to the sample list of process names to help you fill in the gaps. This is an example of the process names that you might consider when thinking about your sales and marketing key function, or what we call getting the business. You'll notice that there are processes for social media advertising like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. There are suggestions for print advertising like newspaper, magazines, maybe trade journals. Broadcast advertising, radio, TV, display advertising, such as signs for your trucks, billboards. There might be direct response, telemarketing, direct mail. There might be inbound marketing. This is a very popular way of generating leads these days through blogging, landing pages, webcasts, etc. You might do other internet marketing, such as pay-per-click advertising or SEO type activities. There might be events that you do. There might be contests that you have. There might be promotional activities, news releases, sponsoring teams, speeches, seminars. There might be, almost everybody has this, referrals and active referral processes. This is a list of ideas that we give you to fill in the gaps for the processes that you may have forgotten about, as well as to give you ideas for processes that you can implement later. In step number 4, you're going to link the processes that you've named to specific positions on your organizational chart. And in doing so, you're creating clear and measurable job descriptions for every position in your company. And you're creating complete functional accountability. You've defined all of the tasks that need to be accomplished. You've defined all of the positions that need to be filled in the company. And you've assigned all of those tasks to specific positions. So you're now confident that everything that needs to be done has been assigned to a position who will do it. In the Touchstone application, you can do this by clicking on any of the positions on your org chart and then choosing to add an existing process. But when you're first getting started, we recommend coming back to your functions list, starting at the beginning and moving through each process, selecting it, and then clicking on Link to Job Description. This will bring up the org chart that you created in the previous step, and you can select one or more positions who need access to this process. And that's all there is to it. You go through each of the processes and link them to the positions on your org chart that are responsible for following and who are accountable for the objectives of those processes. A word about job descriptions. When we're working with companies, I often ask them if they have job descriptions. And usually the answer is yes, but not for every person or not for every position. And rarely are the job descriptions current because they're usually only used for hiring purposes. Once the position is hired, the job description is filed away until a new employee needs to be hired for that position. And then they look around for that old job description and determine whether or not it's accurate. And then they make the changes and the process continues. The purpose for their job description is essentially for hiring. What you're seeing here is the typical job description. This is actually what one of our clients was using as a job description before becoming a client of ours. As you can see, it is sort of a description of the job, but it is really more of a hiring document. It's for advertising for the position. What if a job description could be more of a position-specific operations manual, a set of instructions that was used to not only hire the new employee, but to train, manage, and evaluate them? And because it is used to evaluate the employee, both the employee filling the position and the manager of that employee tend to keep their eyes on it. And as a result, it stays current. And the processes on the position-specific operations manual also stay current. They become dynamic, fluid documents that grow and change organically, as do the processes and activities in the business. When these tools are actually used in the week-to-week management and the day-to-day operation of the business, they tend to stay current organically. It's easy to keep them up to date. Once you're at this point, when someone needs to know what to do, they simply find and click on their position on your organization chart to access their job description. Then they click on the specific process to access the documented procedures, the set of instructions on how to perform that task. So now you have complete functional accountability. You have all of your processes, you have all of your positions, and you've tied them all together to create position-specific operating manuals. Now, almost every business owner we speak to will ask, how long will it take to systemize my business? It's important to know that systemizing your business, it's not a project. It's a process, and the actual writing of your procedures is ongoing. It never ends. And the 5-step systems development plan doesn't actually get you to the place where all of your processes are written and finished, and that is that. The Business Systems Development Plan, this 5-step plan, is designed to create the systemic infrastructure of your business. And depending on the size and complexity of your business, this should really only take about 4 to 6 hours. And it will be a very powerful series of steps to have taken. You will be very clear on your vision. You have a clear understanding of all of the positions and processes you need to achieve your vision. You've created complete functional accountability. You have position-specific operating manuals for every box on your org chart, and you have a prioritized plan for getting all of the processes written. Documenting processes is not rocket science. It's simple, but it's not easy. It takes time, and it's important for the organization to think of it as a process rather than a project. It is something that happens over a span of time and continues to happen for as long as the business is alive. Processes accumulate over time, and your business will evolve from a people-dependent business into a process-dependent business. You do a little at a time. You don't have to be focused on doing it all day long every day. And do it when you have a reason to do it. One way of getting your processes documented, for example, is during the training of a new employee. Have the new employee write down what you're telling them. Then give them some time during the day to document what they've written, and then review and edit what they wrote the following day. Think of how well trained they'll be. You are telling them how to do what you need them to do, and you can be sure that they're paying attention because they know that they're responsible for writing down what they're learning. And then they're writing it up, and then you're reviewing it with them the following day. You're engaging multiple sensory experiences, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and you're repeating the process 3 times, once during the training, once during the writing it up, and the 3rd time during a review. Another way is to make a game of it. Here's a quick story. We had a Century 21 real estate brokerage firm in California. They had 25 real estate agents. The problem was 80% of their revenue was being generated by 20% of their agents. It just doesn't have to be that way. What we did is we came up with a contest. We took the top 5 producers and made them captains of 5 teams. We put the 5 greenest real estate agents on each team and divided the rest of the agents randomly on the rest of the team. So at the end we had 5 teams of 5. The contest was to deliver the best listing presentation as judged by 3 judges. There was the owner, the owner's father who used to own the firm, and the owner of the title company they used most frequently. They were given 3 weeks to come up with their presentations, and there were 2 rules. The presentation had to be less than 3 minutes long, and the presentation had to be delivered by the rookie, the greenest member of the team. There was a great gift offered to the winning team, and each team wanted to win. There was a lot of camaraderie and competition amongst the teams. On the day of the presentations, there was a lot of creativity. The presentations were done well, and the business owner recorded them, and he compiled all of the best points. Over the following 2 weeks, he workshopped his team of agents until every single one of them could do a fabulous listing presentation. And the result? His sales jumped exponentially. No longer was it 80% from the top 5. And more work started happening. Every agent was more fulfilled, they knew how to do what they needed to do, and they were doing much better, and they were making more money. As a next step, click the option below to gain access to our free ebook on how to systemize your business. We'll go through all of these steps for you in a detailed ebook fashion. And if you're interested, schedule yourself for a personal demonstration of the Touchstone Business System so you can really see how easy it is to manage your processes. And if you have the ebook and you have a free trial of the Touchstone Business System, you can simply walk through the instructions in the ebook and begin systemizing your business. I'm going to end with one final thought on the importance and value of having documented operating procedures for your business. The value of your company is not exclusively based on your annual revenue or your profitability. It is also based on your processes. If the business is not duplicatable, the business cannot be brought to the next level. If your company's processes are documented, when you're ready to sell, you can show your potential buyers during their due diligence phase how they can then scale your business. Paul Lemberg, the CEO of Quantum Growth Consulting, reports that you can increase the value of your business by as much as 100% simply by systemizing it. Every system that you write for your business is an asset and has value to that business and to anyone who's interested in purchasing it. This is a quote from a colleague of ours, Scott Fritz, who wrote a very good book called The 40-Hour Work Year. Scott writes, "To me, the basic definition of a business owner is someone who can afford to hire an employee to do their job. Until you can afford to hire this person, you don't own a business, you own a job." It's a great statement. This completes the presentation today on the 5-step business systemization plan, or the 5 simple steps to freedom and control. In closing, I want to say thank you for attending. I hope that it's been a valuable experience and that you'll be able to put what we've learned today to use. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. My name is Michael Mills. My email address is mmills@businessdesigncorp.com. Feel free to visit us on the web at www.businessdesigncorp.com, or you can call us at 707-522-6253. We have a number of free offers that will help you grow and develop your business into a satisfying and reliable enterprise. Thanks for watching.